Looks good, right?
Yeah, really, really good.
Right, let's go and head in and have a look at what is going on in here. Oh my god. How do I go about topping or continuing the epicness that was the Hot Hatch Tour? It is now over, and I have to film by myself. I'm not on the road with Sam and James, but it won't be long until we are. And firstly, I want to start this video by saying thank you to you guys for such kind comments on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We had an absolute blast, but it is now time to continue on without those guys for now. And I thought, what better way to continue the epicness than go and visit the UK's largest Murcielago collection that are all for sale. It is also Europe's largest specialist Lamborghini dealership, and it is here in the UK. So today, I'm going to go down there, talk Murcielagos, and I'm going to do it in this car. So yes, that is correct. We are going down to VVS UK Limited today. They are based down in Kent, and I've known about these guys for years. Seeing their stock come in and out, I've known that that is where the Murcielago world, that is the centre of the Murcielago world in the UK. And I'm going down there to learn a little bit more about the car that one day I want to own. And I'd organised this before my Huracan had sold. So before you guys say, go and buy that one, go and buy that one, it is going to be a long process to find the right car, the best mechanically sound car. And today I'm being joined by this man. Danny is a new member to Supercars of London, and this is the unveiling of this man. Basically, over the last 3 or 4 months, you may have seen an increase in activity on the Supercars of London Instagram page and Facebook page. And these were things that I'd neglected over the last 6 to 12 months whilst I was getting incredibly busy driving cars. I didn't have any time to be typing away and doing posts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So Danny has come in, and basically you've started smashing the Instagram stuff. You spend a lot of time in London, but over the next 6 to 12 months, this is only the beginning. We have arrived. It is tucked away in the middle of nowhere with zero phone signal, but this is what we're greeted with at first sight. Oh my god. Oh my god. Very nice. It turns out where we went originally was the other side of this. This is the front entrance to VVS. And they've got another Murcielago LP640 there. They've also got a very rare LP560-2 50th anniversary. Danny's already he's already cracking on.
I have indeed.
It's beautiful.
Really, really nice.
Balloon white, silver Hercules wheels, black and red interior, right-hand drive. Looks good, right?
Yeah, really, really good.
Right, let's go and head in and have a look at what is going on in here. Oh my god.
Oh, geez, speciale.
Oh my god. Right. No. I've never been here before, but I've followed VVS for well over 10 years, and I've been following so many Murcielagos get bought and sold by these guys. And I mean, this is honestly, now that I'm 26, my version of a toy shop. Oh my god, look how many SVs they've got. 1. That is insane. 2, 3, 4. They've got 5 Murcielago LP670 SVs and this Grigio Telesto with orange details. I mean, I'd have yellow brake calipers, but this is my dream spec, and when you put it next to an Aventador SV, I'll have that all day long. And behind me, ladies and gentlemen, LP640 Roadster, and it might not look like it, but that is an LP640 with a crazy body kit. Singapore limited edition, 1 of 10. Gallardo here. And another one. 2 out of 10 Singapore edition Lamborghini Gallardo LP 550s with a Superleggera rear diffuser. Here we go. I actually probably should go and say hi to someone rather than just walking around their showroom. So I'm going to go in, meet some of the guys here. They've kind of put on a bit of a day, but today I want to find out more information on the used car market on the Murcielago LP640s. I want to understand what they are like here, how many UK cars there are, how many cars have been imported, left-hand drive versus right-hand drive, what's a good one, what's not a good one. I want to learn so much today about those cars so that I know exactly what I'm looking for when I come to buy one. Pain is the name of the game when they play with us. Say what you say with the lane ain't the same for us. I'm forgiven. Screaming. I'm forgiven. Screaming. Some might say we're armed and dangerous. Pay the price of the life every night, but it ain't enough. Pain is the name of the game when they play with us. Well, I've just arrived at VVS and been joined by Neil, who is the owner of VVS, in quite a fitting car for what we're going to be talking about over the next 10 minutes or so. And I think it's fair to say you've had your fair share of Murcielagos in stock.
Thanks, mate.
And we are driving an LP670 SV.
When you get to drive these different variants, you realise just how special this car is.
Yeah. UK right-hand drive Murcielagos are incredibly hard to come by in this present day.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would be nervous about potentially importing a car in from another country because you look at the things like a service history, you look at how that car was treated, and I think in these worlds ignorance is bliss when you think about a car, but you also want to know that it was looked after correctly. And I think one of the biggest eye-opening things for me was talking to you about how you go about importing your cars.
Yep.
You go over to, let's say, Singapore.
Sure.
You actually view the car, you inspect it there and then.
Absolutely.
And then make a decision as to whether you want to bring that car, whether it's good enough to sit under the VVS brand.
You've hit the nail on the head. I mean, there is no car that we bring into stock that hasn't actually been, the due diligence has been done correctly on the car, and indeed the owner who's owned the car. Or if there's been multiples, we want to know where the car originated from, who's used it, how it's been serviced. And you've got to go through that checklist because so many of these cars have been abused worldwide, and you can't be selling cars. Well, we have a duty of care, especially around these cars, to make sure that we find the best of breed.
And they're so fragile.
They are.
That if you bought the wrong car, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to come down today to chat to you, if you bought the wrong car, you are going to end up in a money pit, which is going to turn you into bankruptcy.
Well, exactly. And likewise, with the right legal terms for consumers these days, we obviously want to make sure that we're selling the right car to the right person and that we don't have any dramas or headaches. Oh, can we get out here?
He's letting us go. He wants to have a look.
He wants to have a look. We're on. It's a big car. However, with the SV platform, the SV variant, this really is, it belies its size with how they've made it a scalpel now, the turning, the software, the new track rollings, how much lighter it is. I mean, this thing is a house, not a banshee, has got the Larini Sports exhaust on this car.
I was going to say.
And we've got a lovely crisp day here with almost nigh on perfect conditions, no oil, no grease on the road, and listen to that. It's just fabulous.
I don't think
And I never bought.
there is no better sound to follow you around than that V12.
No,
I just think the Aventador doesn't sound as good as this.
My sentiments entirely, Paul. You know, when I never bore of it.
Yeah.
It always makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. You know, and I'm fortunate, or I've been fortunate enough again today to drive one of these super special cars.
Yeah.
Super special. And we're giving it 3/10, mate.
Yeah.
You know, we're playing with this.
We're cruising.
You know, on an
and it's
open
still
road.
punching you in the back of the head.
Oh yeah. It's great fun.
It is awesome. So, in terms of left-hand drive car, right-hand drive car, it doesn't make so much of a difference because the demand in Europe is still quite high for these cars. Like, how successful do you sell left-hand drive cars as much as right-hand drive cars being based in the UK?
Yeah, that's a great question, you know. And we've looked at Lamborghini as a market, as a worldwide market, from both purchase and sale. The left-hand drive cars compared to the right-hand drive cars are considerably cheaper.
Yeah.
But if you look at it now, and we're looking at the likes of mobile.de or Auto Scout as
which I use on a regular basis.
Which you'll use, and we all also do, you know, for price checking cars,
Of course.
to make sure that we're in the right ballpark.
Of course.
You know, from a financial perspective.
Yeah.
The price points have almost equalised now, and you have these fluctuations with currency that, you know, 1 minute the car can look cheap against the European market, and the next it will look expensive.
Yeah. My dream spec on a Murcielago P640, which I've thought about since it came out in 2007.
Yeah.
2006.
Yeah.
Is we have got Grigio Telesto with the black Hemira wheels,
Yeah.
with the yellow brake calipers.
Oh.
Does that car exist in the UK?
So yes, it does. I mean, with yellow calipers. I'd have to quit. I'd have to come back to you on that. But we have just sold a car to.
You have, I know.
To a sporting celebrity that has just bought a Grigio Telesto car. It's a really special car.
So we've talked a little about the left-hand drive, right-hand drive. We talked about buying the right car, and I think one thing that you mentioned previously was some of the expenses that are attached to the car.
Yeah.
And a few things that I've found out, for example, the headlights are made from glass,
Yep.
so they're £5,000 per headlight if you wanted to change them.
Correct.
The front bumper, if you wanted an OEM factory LP640 bumper, is £7,500 plus VAT.
Yep.
Clutches are ranging between £8,000 and £12,000 to replace.
Yeah, you can get a better deal on them these days because you have to be comparable with some of the specialists out there. But
Okay.
yeah, you're looking really between 5 and 10 depending on who's doing it.
So those costs attached to this car obviously proves that it is an expensive car to run.
It is.
And I think in the past, a lot of people have put me off buying one of these cars purely down to the running costs of these things.
Sure.
So how important is it buying a mechanically sound car? It's a completely different buying process because when you go and buy a new car, you buy it spec dependent, and you can go into the factory and pick the colour, you can pick the wheel colour, you can pick the brake calipers, everything. But all of these cars have been built now, they're all out in the market, they've all been used. It's more important to buy a mechanically sound car as it is the car that fits the right spec. So if you're banging on about Grigio Telesto and stuff, it's probably more important for me to buy the car that is probably has the best history, has in terms of like has the most recent clutch fitment and things like that. Like, how important is that in terms of purchasing the right car?
You know, great question. It's all
All
about
the right questions here.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. Well, and then I'm asking you, and then hopefully I'll know even more.
It's all about provenance.
Yeah.
You know, you need to look at these cars as to who's owned them, what's been done in their ownership. You know, you don't want these cars falling into the hands of imbeciles.
Yeah.
You know, people that are going to shortchange the car on how it's maintained. You know, if you're going to have one of these cars, you've got to afford to run it.
Yeah.
You know, base service costs on them aren't that expensive. On an annual, it's £1,000 at the main agent. On the biannual, it's a couple of grand. The big one with the shim service, you're into a few, you know, 4 or 5 grand, and clutches, as we've just discussed.
So basically, long and short, Don't cut corners.
Don't cut corners on these things. You know, they're a hypercar. You know, they're a super hyper, whatever, which way you want to define them.
Yeah.
You know, they need maintaining. I think I had a client say to me once, you know, Neil, having a Mercy is like dating a supermodel. You know, and it's gonna be expensive.
High maintenance, expensive.
They are,
But they
mate.
look
And
good.
what's nice to know with these, and what I honestly, you know, hand on my heart, I say this really, you know, because of the limited production on these cars compared to the likes of Aventador, you know, these cars are only going one way now. They're going up in price, you know.
Yeah.
They are.
That's what I want to get. I want to jump on the bandwagon now.
Yeah.
And keep it.
They're so special. We look at sales this year and how the price points have jumped on them. And in the last 2 months, we've sold 5 of them.
Yeah.
You know, it was a great call, and it was purely by luck rather than judgment, and indeed my love for these cars, same as you, Paul.
Yeah.
The look of it, how dramatic a Mercy is, and I just thought, you know, the price points or the differential between Murcielago, sorry, and Aventador was vast.
Yeah.
You're now seeing Murcielago
Come up
nudging
at
the points where Aventador is.
Yeah.
And I think you'll find Aventador fall back, and these will pull forward.
Yeah.
Lovely car.
Neil, thank you so much for
This has
taking me
been
out.
great speaking. Thank you for having me as well. Allow me to wax lyrically on your channel. Nice to meet you, Paul.